So go ahead. I'm jumping in. Whatever you guys were looking at. Ty, do you feel like you understand match types a little bit better?
Yep, David. I think I have a better understanding now
Okay.
for the
Well,
match types.
yeah. Well, maybe you can walk me through some of your negative keyword selection and then maybe some of your search terms too. What you think is not relevant and why.
Yeah, we can maybe go back to the first ones that you did. So go back up.
Okay. Here. So here. Here, just like this. Design spikes. I tag it as exact um match for the negative keywords because we don't have sign spikes on the um, the American Flags Express. And also the second one is the flight lights because we don't have flight lights, but we have specifically lights
Yeah, I believe
that
that's for polls. Yeah,
for the
poll
poles.
lights.
Yes, for the poles. So I tag it as exact um exact match for the negative keyword
Got it.
here. And
Real quick before we go on, what's the reason you did exact match?
for the sign spikes, David,
For
or
either
every
or.
time.
Either or.
Uh, I did it because I on my based on my research. If uh, if the if they search exact much like this, the word flight, we will not um reflect to the Google. I mean, like in the search term, like here, when they search the exact keyword, David.
Okay. Let me help you out a little bit. If you type in flight into that search, why don't you type in flight
Okay.
and then hit enter? This, when you enter as an exact match negative keyword flight, this is the search that we're trying to block. Meaning these are the search ads that we don't want to show up for. But only with the exact search or very, very close to it of someone typing in flight. One thing, if you go back to the Google Sheet,
Okay.
if you go back to the Google Sheet, line 62, flight lights, I agree with you. We don't want to be up there for flight lights. However, we can safely assume that the client doesn't want to be up there for anything related to flights, because I don't think they sell any sort of flight flag or flight flag extension or anything like that.
Yep, they
So,
don't.
instead of exact match in this instance, I would actually recommend broad match, because anything that is related to flight or has the word flight in it, flight flag, flight power, flight this, flight that, we shouldn't show up for any of that. So instead of exact match, I would actually recommend broad match in this instance because of that. And to do that, we would just have to remove the brackets.
Yep.
Does that make sense to Ty?
Okay. Yep, David.
I don't want to do something that doesn't quite make sense either, because you can have a lot of debate between this. So, okay, the first one, sign spikes. Okay, we probably would want to include that, like how you have there, if the client, doesn't sell the product, right? Um, the only thing is how many, you got to think about it too. And I think there's a really good graph that illustrates it. I'm going to pull it up and share my screen here for a minute. Long tail keyword versus search volume. Images. Yeah, it's all of these here. So let's check this out. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
You can see it too, Ty?
Yep.
Okay.
David.
So on this left-hand side, we have monthly searches, and on the bottom, we have number of search queries. So sign spikes, it's not super long tail, right? Long tail meaning it's got a lot of keywords. Like if you had sign spikes in red, for sale, near me, that's all the way down here, right? Versus flight, which is all the way here. And when you have it here, usually your search volume is huge, right? Your search volume is huge when you have a shorter search, like just flight. There's so many people that can register for that keyword, whether they're booking a flight or whether they're trying to find a, specific route or they're buying flight memorabilia. It all counts, right? So from this, sign spikes. Where does sign spikes fall? If we're going to add sign spikes as an exact match negative keyword because the client doesn't sell this item, then we kind of have to think about where it falls. If we're going to add any negatives, we want to add how do I say this? We want to add a negative that's going to do the most impact, right? So we could technically add all of the searches that we don't like as negative exact matches. But when you do that, we're only blocking a very limited amount of searches. Where if we play with the match type or we play with the word, then we can block more that we don't want. We're increasing our effectiveness of blocking searches that we don't want. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let's stop sharing because sharing is not always caring. Stop screen sharing. And then Ty, if you could go back to sharing your screen, let's go look at the Google Sheet again and let's see what else we could do with that keyword.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Yep.
Here.
So what do you think is a different way that we can enter a negative keyword for this search, Ty, that would maybe block more searches than just the exact search sign spikes? And it's okay if you need help. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but yeah, maybe
Sure.
I am a little bit.
I think I need help, Dave. And this one,
Okay. One instance, sign spikes, right? They don't sell anything with signs, to my knowledge, right?
yes.
So if we don't want anything with signs, I wouldn't do sign spikes as an exact match. I would just put sign as a broad match negative because that means we're not going to show up for any search related to a sign.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
And now I want to make sure the client doesn't sell anything with signs. So hold on.
Yeah, I actually checked and they don't.
You did? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful because I've got into the instance too where you start getting a little too broad and then you cross over into products that, they sell. And then you start blocking searches, which is not a good thing,
Yeah. I also think that this is the reasons I did exact match mostly we don't want to like mess the account up. So
Yep.
yeah, because I explained to him how crucial this one is. So
Exactly. It is pretty crucial. Also, did you guys start with going through the searches descending by clicks? Because then we will have looked at the searches that were showing up for at least that we spent money on first.
yep, I think he did that for the list I gave him.
Nice.
But yeah, I already created the list. It is mainly like from like 6,000 search terms.
Yeah.
I'll have to also do it on my end, the descending, sending by clicks, and then copy the like top 500 and then give it to Ty. So
Sure.
Yep.
No worries. All right, let's go through a couple more examples.
Okay. So the next one is the lightning rod per house. Because we don't have lightning rod in American Flags Express, David.
That is correct.
So,
they do not sell any
yep.
lightning rods.
So
for sure.
we put it in as a broad match, a negative keyword for broad match.
I like it. Now here's what I'm gonna. I'm sometimes difficult. Sorry. Here's what I'm gonna ask. Rod. Do we sell anything related to the keyword rod? Not just lightning rod, actual rod.
Yep, we have one, the non-tangle rods for trigger flagpoles.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. So with that, here's the thing. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. Now that we sell rods, do you think that we should include the word rod in the negative keyword?
For me, I think not. I think lightning will be the only keyword that
we should stay at broad.
Negative.
Yes, lightning.
Red for a house.
100%. I would agree.
Okay.
Now, if you put lightning rod as an exact match and you wanted to block that, that's fine because that's only going to generate searches that are lightning rod. Cool.
Specific. Yeah.
Now, when you do lightning rod as a broad match, that can trigger all sorts of things like, rod for sale, telescoping rod, stick rod, lightning stick rod, flag lightning rod. You can get all these things, and then they're starting to get some overlap between, like some of the products we sell and some of the searches we don't want to be on for. So that's one of my tricks. I like to find like the keyword in the phrase, the search phrase, and find the keyword that makes the least amount of sense that the business really doesn't need to be up there for at all. And then I take that and then I put it as a broad match and I put that as the negative keyword. That's kind of the trend that we're seeing too. So
okay. Got it, David.
Cool. What else you got? Let's do one more.
Here's the fishing pole pearls. So I put it as an exact match when they search a fishing pole. We don't have a fishing pole, but we have pole.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yep, I like that one. Because fishing pole is a large search. So even as an exact match, we're gonna block a lot of searches here. And then pole we have, and fishing we don't want to be out there for. I would do that one, and then maybe I don't think they sell anything related to fishing at all. Yep. So we could also add in another negative keyword because these are recommended negative keywords, right? We could just add in the negative keyword fishing because we don't want to be up there for fishing at all.
Okay.
So that would be a separate line. But yeah, you're correct on this.
Yep. Just like this one, David. Is it good?
Broad match, yep.
Okay.
You can do it like that. That's fine. We'll have to enter it in the system a little bit different, but you can do it like that for now. That's fine.
Okay. And
one more.
The next one is the where to hang flag on front of the house. So I put it exact match on where to hang.
Yeah, it's a question.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, me too. Don't
Well,
actually know how to tag that one.
that one's a tough one because I recently talked with the client about doing some SEO content, meaning creating blogs, and they want to.
Yep.
So that's actually a very, very cool search because that's a great. We literally, our product showed up for a live search on where to hang a flag. So that is a great item that I can bring up to the client to say, hey,
Yep.
these are some topics we should talk about.
Yeah.
So because of that context, I actually don't think we should have any negative keyword there, just
Yeah.
because of the context.
Okay.
Yep, that's good. Good point.
Actually, Gerald and I talked about it earlier, and
Yep.
we've noticed that we're lacking on like how to care um proper care for a flag, or
Oh yeah, we
where
talked
where
about
is
like
the
flag is specific to where to
yeah,
hang. I asked, did you
and
check the website if they have like an article about this that
yeah,
maybe we would show up
like
for? And they
what
said
is the
no. So
best place to hang the flag in front of the house, just like that. So
Great. And honestly, if you can, when you see stuff like that, Ty and Gerald, when you see stuff like that, let's highlight that as well, but not necessarily as a negative keyword list. Let's highlight it as maybe some blog topics or content material because that is great stuff to propose to the client. Hey, we got this many searches and these are the types of searches we're getting. We should write some content about it, right?
I agree.
actually, I do search for their competitors, and some of our competitors have that kind of uh vlog.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Awesome. This is perfect. I'm going to stop recording the